My name is Casey Hishinuma. I'm a fourth-year student here at CASE. I'm on the men's tennis team, and I'm majoring in mechanical engineering with a minor in biomedical engineering. I talked to Coach Todd for a very long time. I think dating back to my before the first semester of my second semester of my junior year in high school. He reached out to me and he was very passionate about tennis as a sport, and at this time I knew that I wanted to play college tennis at a high level, but at the same time I wanted to pursue an engineer because that's always been my passion. So as I looked around with options and stuff, I knew that CASE had a very good balance of tennis and engineering, especially with Coach Todd kind of leading the program. He's very passionate about the sport overall, like I said, and he's very good with developing players, and that's what I saw in him and the school. So I knew that I wanted to reach higher levels in sports, at the same time follow my engineering as a passion just as much as I can. So I thought that those two would be a very good balance, and the school provided both of that for me. So initially, at the end, ultimately I decided on CASE I think beginning of senior year in high school. So I chose to commit here very early. My favorite spot, it used to be the Hessler Road, where the apartments are at, because there used to be a tennis house where all the upperclassmen lived in this one specific house on Hessler, and we had this nice little porch outside, and so whenever the weather's nice, we would always kind of gather around there and talk for the longest time, and just have those team bonding moments, which I really liked. But outside of that, I also really enjoy kind of just being at the KSO library or the Tank, that food spot, just to kind of see all my friends and teammates. It's a really good place to socialize outside of school, and kind of just let your work off your shoulder and kind of just relax. So I really enjoy those two spots. One of my favorite professors that I have on campus is Dr. Liao. She's also my mechanical engineering advisor, and I had her as a professor in two of my classes, and she was very good in terms of teaching and kind of being there with me in terms of when I don't know the questions, she would kind of explain to me very clearly, and she would always make time for me after class. And right now she's a professor for one of my classes that I TA for, and she's very very flexible with how I kind of operate with my own schedule. So I really like her as a person and as a professor. I think my favorite class was dynamics, which is pretty interesting because that class is known to be very hard, but I actually enjoyed the material a lot, and I can't really kind of give you in details how I enjoyed it. I think I was just good at it. Maybe that's why I like it. I did an internship twice over the summer at this company called Procter & Gamble. This company, P&G, handles all these kind of products. You would know most of these, Tide Pods. Those are from P&G. I'm blanking, but what do I call this? Bounce. I'm just looking around in my room to see if I can find anything. Bounty, Charmin, those paper products, all those kind of menstrual pads. We deal with all these kind of products. So I did an internship there in Cincinnati after my sophomore year, as well as after my junior year. And I was a research and development engineer there. So I kind of dealt with developing products that will be in the shelf in the next 10 to 15 years. So kind of the future of the company. I kind of got to see and experience what it's like to invest in the company to really kind of get a very innovative product that we can see and figure out what company or what consumers would want in the next 10 or 15 years or so. So that was a really good experience, and from that internship I got a return offer, which is one of the reasons why I'm moving to California as an engineer. So that was great. Another thing that I did, not anymore, but I did, was the Food Recovery Network. My freshman to sophomore year, I believe. I did it with my teammates. It's about a non-profit organization that recovers food, any leftover food from dining hall and whatnot, and then retrieve that food and then donate it back to the community around us. So it's a really good cause, and I really enjoyed doing that with my teammates. I would go to the dining hall after they closed to just get all the the leftover food and kind of just gather it so that we can donate it to churches on Sundays and stuff. So it was a good experience. That's actually kind of hard for me because I have a lot. Like I have a lot that I can say. I think as a team overall, I think the obvious answer here is that we won the national championship back in 2023. It's an unforgettable moment. I still remember running down to court one to jump into Hopper, and celebrating and embracing that moment. I think I'll forever remember that. And then being invited to the White House right after, that was a crazy month for us. Yeah, unforgettable for sure. But also individually, I remember back in my sophomore year again in 2023, I clinched a national indoor championship back in February, and that right there as a clincher, it's also a great feeling. I'll never forget that ace that I hit to kind of clinch that match in the tournament overall, and I saw kind of everyone jumping over to me, and that was also unforgettable. Yeah, I think those two are the top two moments, I'd say.